Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. I have developed a little bit of a format for this, and I think it's always best to start out from the beginning and
All right.
understand somebody's biography and how they got to town, or maybe you were born in Talbot County, so I have to get that worked out. But give me an overview, if you could.
All right. First off, let me introduce myself to everybody who may not know me. My name is Rose Potter, and I am a candidate for the Talbot County Council. Born and raised not in Talbot County.
Oh.
Born and raised in Queen Anne's County.
Oh.
Yes, yes. We moved, my husband and I moved to Easton, and from Easton we moved to Trappe. So I've been in the county for a lot of years, a number of years. I am a degreed social worker. I have also worked for the state of Maryland for 30 years. I retired from that. I have been very involved in the county of Talbot, along with the town as well. I have served and continue to serve with many committees I've served on, and also board of director members.
Oh, right.
A member for a number of organizations and charities here in the county. I really enjoy doing public service. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
I have been involved since 2009, so that tells a little bit how I feel about public service. So it's an honor for me to be running for this position, because there are some things that I think need to be changed. And I know we will get into that later on, but just to give you just a little bit about myself, I am married. My husband is Ralph Potter, who is an employee of Talbot County Public Schools.
Oh,
We have 3 adult children and 2 grandchildren.
Oh.
So that's it in a nutshell.
Oh, that's pretty good. But there's one thing about caring for a community, and there's another one for running for office. And I'm always curious about what the motive is. Was there a particular issue that came up that motivated you? Because it's kind of I wouldn't call it a pain, but it's a job to run for office.
Oh, it absolutely is. And it's not anything that one can do without giving it some thought.
Yeah.
I think one does have to be, but as I said, I started off by being a town commissioner for 8 years, and I served 2 terms. I had to leave that office because the town still continues to enforce term limits. So my limit,
Right.
my term ended. So, but as far as running for this position, being a candidate for the Talbot County Council, it's not an easy position, I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
But it is a position almost somebody has to do it, and type thing. So I'm willing to step out there and to do what I think is best or as good as can be for all the citizens of Talbot County is my interest. I'm not one to believe that my focus needs to be centered on just a segment, but I believe in serving the entire county.
So one of the things that surprised me, maybe it shouldn't have been, but the controversy surrounding the comp plan, especially the extension of sewer in the Bay 100. Do you have a position on that? I mean, did you feel like, some people think that's a recipe for growth? There was a lot of issues with the controversy, but it was also getting to be very personal, and that was disorienting for me.
I understand what you're saying, but the problem, well, I don't want to say necessarily that it's a problem, but when it comes to growth, you will always have some people who will be disgruntled. And again, I come back to the responsibility of the council. One does have to do what's best for everybody as best they can. Now, as far as the position of the sewer or what, this is something that, it has to be not necessarily for growth, but we do have to take that into consideration because nothing stays the same. So when it comes to growth, we have to do growth slowly. There is no need forever doing growth at a fast pace. We need to keep it simple. We need to keep it slow. We need to also make sure that the constituency understand what we're doing and why we're doing that. Transparency, that's what we need on this council, to be able to talk to people and people to be able to talk to us so that we can have the view from both sides.
Yeah. And did you find that, was it worrying for you to see this expansion of sewer services, or was that, a lot of people think that's the door opener for.
I know they do, but again, we have to come back to what I said before, slow expansion. Slow expansion is what's needed. Slow expansion for whenever we decide to do something different and it causes a division within, then we have to slow things down until we at least can have the majority who can see it, why the necessity is there.
I see. Switching channels, when I understand that we do have a very impressive school board, but at the end of the day, the Talbot County Council decides the school board budget or the school district budget. And, we have this formula in the state called maintenance of effort that, many people believe is a disadvantage for our county. The county has to continue to supplement the school district to be fully operational. Do you feel like there's something that can be done even more on the council for public education?
I think there's always something that can be done. I think that the council has a moral obligation to look at the school board's budget, what's being presented, and if at all possible, I believe it should be funded 100%. And I say that because our children, and this is not a cliche for me, but our children really are the future. So we have, the council has an obligation, I feel, to make sure that these students are educated properly and so that they are prepared properly, so that they are ready to face be able to be, what am I looking for? Be able to be ready for the jobs that they should be qualified for. It's necessary, I think, for the school board, for the council to take into consideration what they are presenting to us, critique that. I mean, really critique that. But also, I think that it's necessary that the council has a moral obligation to support the students in this county.
Fair enough. We've had a birthday in this county. Frederick Douglass turned 200 this year. It just is the time, it seems like the appropriate time to talk about diversity and race in our county. We went through a difficult time with the Talbot Boys controversy, but with this bicentennial, it just seems like this is the important question to ask. How are we doing on this, in these race relations and our...
Well, from what, and I have been involved in a lot of these conversations, and they continue.
They do.
I think that with anything, it's a slow progression. But I also am thinking that people are starting to understand and see some things. Maybe there is hope. I want to think that if everyone could actually see each other and then recognize that there's just a difference of skin color between us that separate us, So I believe that, with what Frederick Douglass stands for and with the community coming together to celebrate his birthday, gives me hope, gives me an immense amount of hope that there is maybe in time will be a change of a positive change so that we can all just be brothers and sisters. We could all just do things what are right. We could all just be able to recognize that just because I disagree, I can still walk away and disagree in peace. So I do think that as far as race relations are concerned, there is hope yet. and I'll keep it alive.
Yeah, but what was interesting about the Talbot Boys, as you know, I mean, it was quote unquote resolved on the council level, but it certainly is not being resolved on a countrywide level,
No.
and so I don't think it's going to go away.
No.
And so, would you use that role on the council to revisit some of these things?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, a few, maybe 6-8 weeks ago, in a candidates forum, that particular issue came up, and my answer to that was this: if the issue is still coming up, then that means to me the issue is still present.
Yeah.
That also means to me that people are still not satisfied with what has been done or the decision that was made by the present council.
Right.
So I'm pretty certain that is an issue that will come up again. That is an issue that I believe still needs to be resolved in a different way from the way that it was handled before.
Yeah. Is Richard related to you?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted the name. But, we talked about a couple of issues, and this has been great, but are there other issues that concern you that you feel are not getting the exposure that they need, that there are, you have your agenda, if you're elected, these are the things that I need to work on?
The one that disturbs me more than, I won't say more than any, but I spoke in reference to the schools, but I also am concerned about housing. In this county, affordable housing is non-existent. The town is working, doing what they can do towards this effort, but the county is not doing anything. So I would like, if elected, I would like to see something, a project in reference to that. Recognizing that it takes time. I mean, you have to have funds, you have to do this, you have to do that, but that's okay. The need is there. There are people in this county who really cannot afford to live in this county. Not only does affordable housing affect people, but it also affects our organizations, it affects our businesses. For example, if the sheriff's department needed a new deputy, he hires the deputy comes to Talbot County looking for housing, but he can't afford it. So what does he do? He goes to the adjacent county to try to find housing. We want to see that stopped. We really want to see that stop. So yes, I'm hoping that if elected, that we can do something along the lines of making housing affordable here in Talbot County.
Fair enough. Anything else on that list?
I've spoken to jobs and jobs training. I would like to see the council or the county do something towards that. And because I'm afraid, well, I know that our young people are leaving. Okay, they go to college. I would like to see some of them come back and help to make this county more productive. But if we don't have anything here to offer them, that's the problem. So I would like to see jobs training, and I think about myself. I too left the county for employment. I too traveled to the Western Shore, which is where our students our young people are traveling to the Western Shore, to Wicomico County, and some of these other counties because the jobs are there and the opportunities are there. So you travel.
Yeah.
We need to somehow stop that. So I would like to see the county work on an effort to curtail that, to make that situation better so that our young population can stay, but also to attract others to come to this county.
Well, somebody was saying the other day, it's not affordable housing if you have to commute an hour each way. That's a whole different thing. What do you bring to the table? What is what they call the differential between you and the other 9 candidates that are?
I imagine with the way that I've been speaking to you, you can probably suspect I have compassion. I have a huge amount of compassion about how things are done in this county, how people are treated in this county, the things that need to be done now. I believe in doing those things. I believe that the present council has done some things, and they have upset a lot of people. I believe that if we go in and we do things, again, at a slower pace, if we go in and we make people, organizations, charities, or whatever, to be accountable for the monies that the county would issue to them, I believe that if we do some things and slow things down a little bit, making sure that people understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, I think that would help a lot. So as far as what I bring to the table is this: compassion, understanding for anyone who's going through whatever situation that they're going through, the idea of listening to the challenges and then focus on those challenges to help make things better for the county and the constituency here in Talbot County.
Thanks for doing this. I appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
my pleasure.